before we get into this, none of this is financial advice. This is all education and entertainment. Make your own decisions with your own money. Quick note here before we get into the meat and potatoes. I wanted to make this video to clear up a lot of things that I had seen in other YouTube videos and questions I've seen asked in Discords and chat rooms regarding tomb forks and the tokenomics that cause a lot of guys to lose money in some of these pools and investing in some of these strategies in these projects. So I invested in this one specifically. I put some of my own money in, and I'm going to discuss those results as well as discuss why you may or may not want to get involved with a tomb fork, and talk about this one specifically, the risks and volatility that exist in this project and others like it. Folks, here we are. We've been live for about 5 minutes now, and daily APR has already dropped from like 1,600 a day to here we are, 34. No surprises there. We've got a good chunk of change in here, and we'll see what happens. We've already earned $5 so far. I had like an S or something as well. Yeah, that I went ahead and threw in there. Oh, look at that. We've almost got a penny. But so far, things are chooching along. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Gonna let this ride for a bit, and I'll keep you updated. Here we go, back with the update on DarkGang finance, not to be confused with DarkCrypto finance. As you saw, we put some money into DarkGang at launch. So I went ahead and I threw some money into a couple pools prior to them going live. So we were in this one from the beginning. But I'll have to go back and check transaction timestamps to get the exact time. But I don't think I spent more than 30 to 36 hours or so in these pools before I pulled out. I made about 10% on it in a day and a half. Not too bad. But since then, I had pulled everything out, liquidated out of DarkGang assets completely. I'm going to talk about why that is here shortly. But let's just go over this again. So here we are. I think we're about 3 or 4 days into this one now. As you can see, TVL about 10.7 million. I think at their peak, they had topped 15 million. I want to say that was maybe yesterday. And then they have started to taper down from there. But just take a look. Here's the homepage. So DarkG, their main coin, currently sitting at 17.4 Dark. More than 16 times over the peg right now. SkyG, their share token, sitting at almost 1250 there. They've got their Earn SkyG pools going now. APRs still pretty good, but that's because they are still 16 over the peg. So let's go to their chart real quick for DarkG. So something I want to explain that I've seen lots of other videos here on YouTube from folks who invested in this project specifically and other projects like it, those all being tomb forks, and mentioning that they had lost money in DarkGang pools or vaults, investing here or there, and not really explaining why that was, and maybe not understanding really fully themselves why that is that a pool with such a high APR was losing money. So here's why, folks. So this is just the past couple days for DarkG, and if you see here, we're currently at $7.95, which, like I said, if we look at their homepage, DarkG is 17.4 Dark. There it is, $7.95. So that means one DarkG is the equivalent of almost 17.5 Dark tokens. Now, DarkG is pegged to DarkCrypto's coin. And Dark is currently at 46 cents. So if you look at this chart, the algorithm pegging DarkG to Dark, all of its actions are going to be to drive the price of DarkG towards the price of Dark. And I put this white line at the bottom of the chart here to show you where the current price of Dark is. So everything the algorithm does is going to put downward pressure on this current price of DarkG to force it closer and closer to the price of Dark. So if you are aware of this as an investor and you are buying on a DEX, the DarkG token right now, then you need to be aware that its trajectory is down to the price of Dark. Now you see these fluctuations here, and there'll always be that from buy and sell action in the market. But the algorithm pegging DarkG to Dark is going to put downward pressure on the price of this token. That is the only thing that it is going to do. This token is not intended, not by the algorithm nor the developers, to hover at a price range like this or higher. It's just not sustainable for the protocol. And if you've been around Tomb Forks before, you know that this pattern that we see here, this distinct spike into the stratosphere and then kind of coming back down, doing all this crazy stuff and slowly starting to taper down till we get to here. This is classic Tomb Fork market action here. And this price will continue to trend down and down and down and down until it gets into a more stable range. And it may not come all the way crashing down to the price of Dark immediately, but this will, over time, trend down closer and closer to that line. And the longer the protocol is live, the quicker that will happen. So if we take a look at some other Tomb Forks, another recent one like V3S, for example, you'll see a very similar pattern to this, and then the distinct drop to get closer to its peg. So let's go take a look at that chart. Current price way down there in the basement, but if we zoom out, here we go. So you can see last month, again, those crazy spikes, all that action in the first few days, all the way up to 46 cents and down to its current price, which as you see here is, what is that, 10th, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000. That's, like 100 millionths of a cent or something wild like that. Anyway, so I know, somebody do the math and drop it in the comments for me. What percent change is that from 46 cents down to our current price here? Anyway, my point being that this was another Tomb Fork. And if you bought into this project because of those crazy high APRs in the pools, right here at, or, let's say even here at 11 cents, and you sat in it for even a day, you lost your pants in that pool. Sitting at almost $8 a coin, DarkG is meant to hover at the value of Dark, which is 46 cents. So if you're out there kind of wondering about DarkGang finance and how to get involved in this and that, you do need to be aware of the tokenomics of this project, especially given its current position and the circumstances. Like I said, DarkG, their main token, is pegged to the Dark token, the main token of DarkCrypto, whose current value is 46 cents. So if you go back, and like I said, almost $8 for DarkG, only downward pressure is going to be placed on this price by the algorithm, by DarkGang's algorithm pegging it to dark. So if you are buying this token off of a DEX, its trajectory is down, and you should expect as an investor to lose money because you are buying it when it is 16 times over its intended value. I hope that makes sense. If that's still unclear, please drop a comment down below. Let me know. I would really like to clear this up because I have been seeing a lot of questions and confusion from folks online in the discords and things like that, asking about, whether or not they should get into this pool or that pool, and why their LP they've staked has gone down so much when they're supposed to be getting 100% or more APR per day. All this stuff. This is why, guys, because you bought a token that is severely over its intended value. And so, these poor folks that bought DarkG here to stake into the pools, and then, a couple hours later it was here, they would have seen, depending on the amount they invested, a big slice taken out of their change that they put into that pool. And that is why, and they might think, it'll come back up. It crashed down like this. An uneducated investor might expect, or hope for this to rebound, here to make their money back. But that's just incredibly unlikely because of all the things I've already stated. The algorithm is only going to put downward pressure on this price until it gets closer to get it close to the peg price. If you are going to get invested in projects like this, you really need to do all your homework. You really need to understand what it is you're buying and the current situation that project is in. The tokenomics of whatever it is you're buying. These are kind of important things, guys, because there have been a lot of folks throwing money at these high APRs, because it's so enticing, and losing cash because they didn't understand that that was a highly volatile play and incredibly high risk. Now, if you were one of the folks who got in at the very beginning and farmed DarkG tokens, using some other assets, and you didn't actually purchase this and you held on to those, that is a different story entirely. And maybe I'll make a video about that later on, kind of to follow up how that play is different than this one of jumping in and buying these tokens after launch versus having been in at the beginning to farm in Genesis pools. But again, if you got questions, comments, throw them down below, guys. I hope this video helped. I'll catch you later.